Hello, baddies! Just a warning that this is actually part 2 of our Love is Blind UK recap of episodes 5 to 9. If you haven't listened to episode 1, I highly suggest you do. First of all, we talked about Nicole and Benaya and Sam in part 1, but also we started our Ollie and Demi conversation at the end of part 1, so you're kind of jumping in the middle. Anyways, you will find that in the same playlist on YouTube. And, anyways, if you already watched part 1, thank you so much. I hope you like, comment, and subscribe to this channel so you can join us for the reunion and finale. And other than that, enjoy.
I'd be surprised either. And then when Demi walks up, Bobby's like, okay, let's let them talk.
Yes, let's let them talk. Okay. So yeah. All right. So we go back to London. They're like, oh, so excited to get back into our own world. I did feel this is when I still felt a little guarded with Ollie because I was like, okay, are you happy that you're away from everyone because you want to like seclude her from everyone? But it's like, nah. I think he's just like, let's be around people who really know at least one of us.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't appreciate the way that he said to Demi, Jasmine doesn't know us. And it's like, by that
We
logic,
don't.
but by that logic, Demi don't know him either.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, he's
Yeah.
saying that, but I'm
Oh,
like, if we
I
apply
think
this logic, none of y'all know each other.
And I think that's fair. I really do, because he's right. He's like,
Right.
this girlie acting like she know you since day one. And you know what he was picking up on by saying that? He was picking up on this might not even be about you, Demi.
Mm-hmm.
And it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't.
No, it was about her own trauma.
Exactly. So he was actually right. Demi was like,
Right.
hold up. It's like, nah, Jasmine has some things to work on, and that's okay. It's okay. Now we got some more black folks. We
Mm-hmm.
see Demi's people. Ollie's just like, this is what I wanted. Like honestly, and I wonder honestly how much of this was that Demi was tired of these non-black people.
Oh, maybe. Maybe. Yeah. That could have been it.
Cause I also feel like it was a weird dynamic that a lot of these non-black women are fear-mongering about, like, is he attracted to Demi? It's like instantly questioning the black woman's like if her partner desires her, not even being open to the inkling when he says yes, that he actually
Yeah.
might be telling the truth.
Honestly, I thought it would probably be more rooted in like fat phobia.
Yeah, it could be
Yeah.
anything. It could,
Yeah.
it could be anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was nuts. But yeah, they have a really good time, and then we learn that because not because, but Ollie was like, yes, I said I was open to fostering or adopting because my mom
Right.
was adopted. I
Right. Yeah.
I was like, Ollie,
Wow.
wow, we're
Wow.
learning so much, and I really liked him the more the episodes went on.
Yeah. I don't know if I trust him.
That's
I don't
fair.
know. I keep side-eyeing him.
It is what it is, you know? It
Right.
is what it is. Um, I will admit also something that really warmed me up to him is that when they're home, Demi brings up, "Oh, I notice that
Mm.
you tend to like get in your head and you're doing like all these things and stuff like that." And he was like, "Wow, you really like notice me?" Like I feel like he was saying, "You saw me.
Right.
You saw me in a way that a lot of people don't." Which Leos live.
Exactly.
And he was just like, yeah, I have ADHD. Not everyone knows about it. It's pretty severe. I can't finish a book. She just loves them. They're both just on the sofa. They have their legs up. I feel like I'm just at home with them on a Saturday. No biggie.
Right.
And it was just loving and affirming, and I was done. I'm gonna admit, as my partner Jordan has ADHD and everything, I was like, I'm sold. I'm sold. I don't need to see anything else. I don't need to see anything else. And I think I saw also Demi really coming out of her shell that she was
Yeah.
having. And that to me, she was happy. She was
Yeah.
happy that everyone was trying to look for. And I'm like, if Ollie was stressing this woman out, I feel like we would know. And it was smooth sailing after Greece.
Right. Yeah.
He meets her family.
Mm-hmm. He
She
meets her
looked
friends first and then her family. Yeah.
she looked exactly like her daddy. I love it when girls look exactly like their daddy.
Oh, and her dad cares so much about her and like missed her. And just like when he got emotional, it was so cute. I loved it.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Do you think they're gonna get married or not?
I mean, I was assuming, but the way they're setting up the previews, I'm just not sure, but I don't know. I mean, I could see it, I guess.
I think they will. They always have to do something. They've been so good. I think they will because they've been pretty rock solid. I don't know what the whole, well, maybe we'll just date after this. I think they will though, because it's just like, what are we stopping for? They're
Yeah.
better than most of these couples at this point later on in the season.
Yeah, they're better than some of them, yeah.
Most.
Well,
Jasmine, Jasmine and Bobby, they have things to work on. I still
yeah.
believe in them,
Yeah.
but I don't think to the day to day. I think I think Ollie and Demi are having a smoother time day to day. Just because we also have not seen them. Like they disappear a little bit
Mm.
from the edit and I'm like they must be so good.
Yeah, they must be so boring. Yeah, that they're just like disappearing. Yeah,
Yeah, and that's a
that's
good
true.
sign. Steven and Sabrina, you get a little sprinkle and that's it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, I think and then we can move on to the other couple that they're absolutely beating cuz Catherine and Freddie,
Oh, this makes so much sense.
Taurus and I know. I know. So Freddie's a Capricorn, which makes sense. We've been hearing about that job over and over. He got
Right.
his job fit on, looking like the sexiest funeral director ever. But then we're talking about money. We're talking about prenups. Catherine's a
Right.
Taurus, okay? I am a Taurus rising. We like good food. We will
Yeah.
spend money on some good food. I don't know
Luxury.
nothing about what the actual menu at Nobu is, but I know bougie people like Nobu.
And here's my thing. What I cannot stand about Catherine is people keep clocking that she's bougie and she gets mad about it every time. And I'm like,
Why
but you
can't you own
bougie.
it?
Just say you're bougie. Like
Well,
she gets so upset. And I'm like, but you bougie.
but you bougie. And like just own it. Like why? What is it about not wanting to be seen as bougie and yet you're talking about
No
Nobu?
boo. And he's like, I don't even know what that is.
Thank you.
You
It's
know,
like
she named that club that she went to for her birthday. Ollie's like, immediately, I know the type of women who like that type of play. And she's like, and I'm like, so we talking about Nobu and a hoity-toity club? Girl, you bougie. And
you
that's
bougie.
okay.
And honestly, her and Maria, because I got something to say about Maria too, because she's doing the same thing a little bit. It's like you
Yeah.
knew what man you had, and you still were like, you said what you wanted at first, and then you walked it back when you realized, oh, that actually might rule me out of this dating pool.
Right. It's like, just own it.
Just
Just
own it.
own it.
Why are you stressing out this Capricorn man, this hardworking Capricorn man who does not want to part with his money over some foolery like Nobu?
He's not. He's
Like,
not. And like, the friends pick up on it and they're like, he seems like he likes being at home, beans on toast type of vibe. And that is okay. But I think for me it's like frustrating because clearly they aren't working.
no,
They are
no,
not working.
they're not
Like,
working. So, in the very beginning, let's go back to Greece. Catherine does all that. I don't know if Freddie had an opinion one way or the other. I feel like Freddie probably had the opinion of like, we don't need to be doing all this. Like Benaya, but she was like, but I want to. And he was just like, fine, I support you, I guess.
Right. We really don't gotta do this, but
She's so immature, yo. She might as well be in her 20s. So she has a whole conversation, whatever. Then she talks to Freddie and she asks, have you ever cheated? He said he did once 7 years ago, and the girl found out. So no, he did not come clean to her. The girl found out. This girl was like, well, I've always said once a cheat, always a treat. Guess what? Then break up with him. Stand on business then.
right. End it. Also, I didn't like the fact that she asked him such a make it or break it question after the pods.
After, because these girls are trying to trick these men into a marriage
They
instead of
are.
being honest.
It's like her goal was to get chosen.
Yeah.
She felt like Ollie was like, she wasn't sure if he was actually going to choose her or choose Demi. So she's like, I'm going to go with the safe bet who's only checking for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, girl, you don't even seem to like this man. Like,
she liked his abs. This is also she was very like I said, she was sexualizing him in those beginning things. It was all about the looks, and then she was like, oh, I actually need to talk to him and find out, oh, you cheated once, what? And so now she's treating him like whatever ex cheated on her.
Yep.
She getting payback. And Freddie ends up breaking down crying because he's like, baby, I'm just trying to love you.
And he's like, I'm trying to be honest with you because I could have lied to you because I know this makes me look bad, but I'm trying to be honest with you. And then you're still trying to hold it against me. Like,
and then she's like, well, can't you understand yes, he can. But also this was 7 years ago. He was probably 23 because I think I looked up his age before and I did the math. Girl. And by the way she's acting, girly, cheating is not just physical. Once a cheat, always a cheat. You always going around looking for validation from other people that are not your partner.
Right. Because she, like you named in her conversation with Ollie, made a point to bring up looks, wanted that validation from Ollie that she was attractive to him. Mm-hmm. We later see her go flirt with Sam on some get back to Freddie.
First of all, no, she was eyeing Ollie. Let's really map
That's
out.
That's true. She was eyeing Ollie because Bobby picked up on it too. So it wasn't even just Ollie on his Leo, like everybody loved me and looking at me. Like, no, she was eyeing him.
So she goes, I have sex with Freddie twice. We go bone zone twice. We meet the other people. I'm now eyeing my other option. I'm telling him, hey, remember that actually I dumped you. And he's just like, you got it. Then all of a sudden, later on, she's flirting with Sam. I would say the mighty have fallen, but she was never mighty. She was never strong.
Nope.
Crazy work. So she still acted like she hated Freddie after he cried. They go shopping. The most uncomfortable scene. Yo, I was like, if she gives a dirty look behind Freddie's back one more time, I'm about to jump through this TV.
And I'm just like, what was the point of, I mean, I know we have to film, but I'm like, you're just taking him out in public to be mean to him. Y'all could have filmed a scene in the house if you just wanted to be mean to him.
It's like, maybe, but also she is so materialistic. I think that's it. I think she's defensive because she is materialistic. These are important to her, but she doesn't want to admit it because this woman says, but I want you to go around shopping with me. And Freddie's like, so I'm gonna do the thing that all these straight men do with their female partners, and that's just stand around somewhere while you try on clothes. And
Right.
she's acting so offended. It's like, girly, if he can't even joke with you, you want him to model? You want him to be your Ken doll?
Right.
Is
Just
that
hold the bags. Is that what you think? And yeah, and felt offended at the prenup conversation, but also had talked about it's like it seems like she goes shopping as like a hobby. Like
yeah,
will be a frequent occurrence in their life of her just going to the mall and him
yep.
being expected to go along. So I'm just like it don't seem like a while. And I find it interesting that she lives at home.
Oh, she do?
Yeah, she lives at home with her parents.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, she does. So her living with Freddie is her being out of her parents' home.
Yes. Yes.
So I'm like, he might be picking up on she is like princess type vibe. Like, my
Yeah.
parents are taking care of me. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, all right. I am so happy when this happened because these people have sense and love each other. Because now, after Catherine's like, oh, you make too many jokes out of everything, he's actually taking that note, changing his personality. They meet the family, and the sister is like, the sister perks up that something's up when Catherine's like,
Mm,
oh, but he's always making these jokes and stuff like that. And she was like, yeah, that's what's missing from this whole situation. My brother, who I know, is not making any jokes. And you're like saying that would have been a problem if he did.
and that's just who he is.
Ooh, when the sister pulled him aside, yo, she was about it. She was like, so how's everything going? How's everything going? I feel so bad for Freddie because he had the nerve to say, well, I'm wondering whether I'm good enough for her. And that's Catherine's doing right there.
Yeah.
He wasn't worried about that in the bots.
Mm-mm.
Now all of a sudden he's out. He's wondering if he's good enough because she wants to harp on something that he did 7 years ago. Talking about, and she labeled him once a cheater, always a cheater.
Yeah.
That's not what you do to people that you love. Well,
And
some people do, but
right. Right. And she's just always so harsh to him when she's speaking to him. It's like, you don't like this man, so just end it.
mhm,
Because I think Freddie genuinely likes her and is like
mhm,
trying to make this work, but I
mhm.
don't think she likes him. She's physically attracted to him, but his personality and his lifestyle, I don't think she's into it.
She was actually impressed by his home. There were some little things that she wanted to tweak, but then she also asked, which I hate when you straight women do this on these shows. If a man has a good looking home, you first ask, well, has a woman been here? And if so, like, what do you want? The mattress on the floor so you can brag to everyone about how you raised your man?
I
You're
mean,
like, who raised you? Maybe his mama. Isn't that what
right.
we all beg of these moms to do? But you all
Right.
suspicious. Like I'm tired, Grandpa.
Well, I feel like the part of it is the bars in hell. So many of us have been to so many rooms where mattresses are on the floor. There's no mirror in sight. There's no real cosmetic product other than like a 5-in-1 body wash shampoo. So it's like when you see a man that has good taste, you're like, wait, who's been in here helping you? And it's like, can we have faith that like grown men can like furnish their own home and decorate it?
Or even if this is my thing when women do this, and it's usually straight women, when you ask, well, did a woman help you? And if the answer is yes, then what? Then you're gonna
Right.
have an attitude over an apartment you actually like.
Right.
Let's please be for real.
Right.
Like,
Right.
what are you looking for? It's the control and it's the ownership. That
Mm-hmm.
straight monogamy.
Mm-hmm.
We ask more of these men, but when they do more, we're suspicious. And I get it. I get it, and yet I don't. Because if you're straight, I'm bisexual. I'm out of the game. I'm with a non-binary partner. I'm living good. But if my only choice is a straight man and you finally find what you want, let's not dig too deep. But we can
Right.
overall a good apartment.
Right.
Wild.
Right. Right. Yeah.
So the sister's like, oh, you don't know if you're good enough for her. Maybe she's not good enough for you. And that's when Freddie remembered who the hell he was.
Right, because I'm like, Freddie, you are fine. You got a good job. You own your place. Like, you don't need no Catherine
She homeless. From
living
what
at
you
her
told
mom
me.
and daddy house.
But Naya at least is working. He
Right.
house sitting for other people. He got a roof
He
over his head.
right.
He working.
He got a
She
roof over his head. He got a mama and a sister that love him. I'm
and
like,
like it's 2024 and America is becoming a multi-generational
mhm,
home society because of
exactly.
the economy. But it's that Catherine wants to be bougie, wants to have all these things and stuff, and I don't think she even meets her own criteria. If she were a
No,
man, the
right.
way she acts with other people, she would not meet her own criteria.
Right. Because even when they're later on talking about when they're at the table, and I think it's he's mentioned how she talks to him, right?
Yes.
And like how she's mean and sassy, and she's like, I don't need to change. And I'm just like,
She said, I don't need to change, but I will for you. And it's like, that's such a cop out because you know you need to change. You do.
right. I'm like, this isn't healthy ways of speaking to anyone, your partner, your family, your friend. Like
Yeah.
this isn't a nice way to speak to people.
She
Like,
wanted to get Buck so badly because he was finally standing up for himself. And
right,
look at her cowering a little bit because she was
right,
like, I mean, I will, but I don't have to, but I will.
right.
And Freddie's just like, oh my God. So yeah, he brings up the prenup. I think the prenup makes sense. Because we have to remember, like, he has a brother with Down syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
Um, very much involved with taking care of him, it seems. And when he said, let's talk about a prenup and that I'm leaving everything to my sister, I am thinking they are they're both taking on a responsibility with
Mm,
their brother.
brother, yeah.
And he just wants to make sure that his brother is good. That is a little complicated when you do have a spouse. It's like kind of crazy to be like all my assets, but it's like, but I'm sure that there's the middle ground, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, there's some negotiation and conversation that can be had about that. And I think he's also just being realistic that like I think it's different if you're just like renting and don't have any like major financial things and you decide to get married, but like he seems to be making a good living. He owns a home. He probably has assets. He does have a sibling with a disability. His family, he's being real about like,
Mhm.
I have financial obligations that I've taken on. And
Mhm.
if we get married, I'm going to be really serious with the consideration around my finances in the case that we don't make it,
Yes.
Because like the
Yes.
reality of when people get divorced, depending on laws, you could lose your house to your spouse. You could
Yes.
have to pay out, I'm like, that's a
Yes.
very real reality of marriage. It's not just like, we're in love, let's do it. Like, this is real financial and legal implications for this.
And this is also a conversation a lot of these people aren't happening if they're in their 20s. Look at how much more
Yeah,
interesting like
literally.
life can be when you cast 30 something year
Oh
olds.
yeah, because I was like, I don't think we've ever talked about a prenup, have we?
Ah,
Maybe Nancy, with Bartiz, because she owned the business with her ex.
the way she talked about it though, she was like, well, this will be our business. And
Oh,
that's when a
she
lot of people were like,
did.
oh, Bartiz looks
Oh,
like he's actually very into this. We were like worried about her.
we were,
No,
yeah.
30 or whatever, this man is like, my family will be getting this.
Right.
Hope you know, make your own judgments. And she
Right.
was just like, I am so offended that you would say all of this. And I was like, immature.
And her friends were like egging it on, talking about like he's thinking about breaking up before you even get married. I'm like, the reality is most marriages end in divorce.
But also, you should. Like, I think that's natural. It's natural to think about it, and you want to plan a good breakup.
Mm-hmm. At least the
Everyone,
logistics of it.
exactly. You want to plan a good breakup. If you're going to have a breakup, let it be as clean. I was in a relationship for years. I ended up moving in. When I bought furniture for that place, I kept all those receipts. I kept all that pricing. And when we broke up, I was like, this is what everything cost. Who's keeping what? And well, I ain't playing with y'all. I ain't playing. I might be a Libra, but I'm play about my money. And I can't believe y'all are
Yeah.
acting like you should never think of your breakup. You want to plan a great breakup as well as a great marriage. You
Yeah.
don't lose anything by planning both.
No. And it's like the reality is a divorce is a very serious financial, legal thing. You know, like
But
I'm
when
just
you
like,
don't have anything to lose,
yeah, exactly. It's like, sure, whatever. But it's like when you
everything to
got something to
gain.
lose, like you need to think about it. Like it's very important. And it's like if you do get to the place of a divorce, it can be very emotional. And you
Mhm.
don't want to be thinking about what you're going to do with a house or cars or a bank account when you're in a very emotional place, you know? Like it's
Yes.
okay to get a prenup. There's nothing wrong with them. It's actually a very healthy conversation to have. And I didn't like because then all of a sudden she became like the helpless one. She's like, oh, like I don't get anything. And it's like, I'm sorry, are you not an adult? Can you not like seek legal counsel? Can you not also negotiate of like,
You bougie. You
and
pay
it's
money on Nobu. You can't pay for a lawyer.
probably can't.
Probably can't.
Probably can't. And don't, you know, and she ain't got nothing to lose or offer or bargain for it anyway. You know?
Yeah. Her and her friends seemed goofy at talking. Freddie was so honest. He was so honest. He didn't sugarcoat nothing. He talked about the prenup situation and how she'd been talking to him and all this. The girlies are just as goofy as Catherine because they were trying to defend her mess. They were like, well, you know, she doesn't do that all the time. It's like a girl thing. She does it with her girls. So
So
all
all y'all
y'all,
bougie and materialistic.
and who's footing the bill for that?
And it's like they know she bougie because they picked up on the fact that he seems like a chill homebody and she is not.
And they bring it up to her, and she's still like, we don't have that different of lifestyles. And it's like, girl, yes, you do. She
You
really
like
wanted to be like, no,
you like to
no,
treat yourself to Nobu and this man don't know what it is.
no,
Y'all live different lives.
no.
That's okay.
And that's okay. So, Freddie meets Catherine's family. Now, this is very interesting because she did bring up when they were having their serious conversation about how things are going that she was adopted.
Mm-hmm.
This girlie was adopted at 11 months.
Which a little bit, I was like, it feels like she's using this as some type of like,
Now, I get it, but I'm also like, I am so aware that adoption's trauma, no matter what,
yes.
it's traumatic. And I've also been around some people who have dealt with that trauma of really needing validation from others. And we really see that with Catherine a lot.
And essentially it's like I'm adopted, so therefore I'm mean to people and it's because I'm adopted.
Yeah, no.
I'm
So many adopted people are so kind.
exactly. Just like
So kind and everything, but also trauma manifests in different people in different ways.
right.
Like being adopted. I don't know when she was told she was adopted either. Because
That's true.
11 months,
Yeah.
I'm sure she was raised thinking those were her biological parents,
yeah,
and then had to be told, and then that's like,
yeah,
whew, you don't know what that does to a person.
yeah,
Because it's like
Yeah.
low key, if your parents don't tell you like immediately,
yeah.
you're gonna feel like, oh, so my whole life a lie.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's true. That's true.
so I
But it's
can't
like,
trust nobody.
but the
Okay.
way she was saying it was like she had to defend herself often
Mhm.
against people. So I'm like, it seems like she did know at a young age, and it seems like others knew at a young age, and
It's possible, and no matter
yeah,
what, it would be traumatic.
yeah,
So it's
yeah,
like I do hold space for that because that's huge. It just is. And when she said 11 months, I was like,
Yeah.
holy moly. But yeah, and Freddie was very honest with her parents too. They have different lifestyles. Catherine gives a sarcastic laugh that time. She hates it when he says that. She hates
Right.
it. But it's like, why?
Right. And she's like, you're trying, well, this is when they're talking along. She's like, you're trying to make me seem out to be like a demon. And I'm like, well, you low key kind of act very mean. Like, I'm just like, I'm like, you are mean to this man. And you're trying to excuse the fact that you're mean to him. And then you get even meaner when he talks about how mean you are to him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I don't know what she's projecting onto Freddie, but whatever that is, like, I hope she does like the inner work of whoever hurt her.
Period.
Because Freddie ain't doing nothing to nobody but making jokes. And so after that, Freddie's friend says when they're trying on their tux that Freddie has always needed to take time in relationships, which is very interesting because I was like, oh, Freddie gonna say no. But when he said Freddie's a Capricorn. He gotta think things through. He has to make sure the numbers make sense, that the lifestyles make sense. He is analyzing.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what his decision is. But when his friend said that, I was like, okay, I partially feel like maybe they're gonna get married then, but we'll see.
Yeah, maybe.
Mm. All right, I guess our last couple's Tom and Maria. All right, what do you have to say about Tom and Maria?
They're a Leo and Aquarius.
Mm-hmm.
Cut the camera. We're done here. Shut down the relationship. Not me being triggered for my own 8 years with a Leo as an Aquarius. I'm like, cut cameras. We're done here. This to me ain't gonna work. I'm sorry.
8 years is a long time, first of all, Quita. Like, that's not nothing. So it might last.
Well, I mean, yes, and I think, I mean, aside from that, they're actually Leo and Aquarius actually are pretty compatible because we are sibling signs, actually. But they are not going to work because the reality is Maria needs a much more traditional conservative values man, and Tom is very much his Aquarius egalitarian, like, I'll pick up the ice cream this time. It's cool if you pick it up next time. We both work and share the finances of the home. And Maria's like, I'm a woman, a wife. My husband will be a protector and a provider for me and my children. And I'm just like, Tom's not giving that. Tom Ben said he ain't giving that.
Tom, when you brought up how you wanted to be a stay-at-home mama in the pods, Tom said, oh, I want a partner who is gonna work. You walked that so back so quick and was like, oh, just at the beginning. No, I don't know how many clients you have. I don't know like how you're making your living or even where you're staying. Did we see Maria's home?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
But Maria, you know what you want, and you walked that back, and that was weird.
It
Because look at
was.
what you're doing now.
Right. Snap it on him because you might have had to pay for ice cream.
This is actually, as a Black woman who has seen Black women and men have this whole 50-50, split conversation. Thank God it ain't us this time, because Maria would have jumped in that conversation real quick.
Truly. Ain't no 50-50.
Ain't no 50
If you're
50.
my husband and it's 100% you,
Then be about it. You didn't pick that. You
you
picked the
didn't pick
guy
that.
that was giving you fanny flutters, and that's okay.
Right.
And then
Yeah.
we want to talk about jobs. That came out of nowhere. I couldn't believe it. I
Yeah.
couldn't believe it. But this is an interesting conversation, because I think there's a lot more that probably could have been said in this
Yeah.
conversation to give a little bit more nuance, but
Yeah.
didn't. Because Maria's like, wait, so you judged me in the pods when I said I was a makeup artist? And he was like, oh, yeah. Like, I guess I did. I was a little judgmental, which these men is owning everything that they're saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's one thing you can say about this cast. And she was like, well, that's terrible. That's horrible. And it's like, what does judgmental mean? Like,
Mm.
maybe I'm giving leeway, but it's like, first of all, when you're dating and someone says their job, you're lying. You are
Right.
lying if you're saying you're not, like, I can work with that, or you're judging whether
Yeah.
that's going to be compatible with your life.
Right.
Tom
Right.
don't look like he know anything about no makeup artists.
Right. And it's like it seemed like it could have been an age thing. And from what he said, right, what his reservations about it, it was actually had nothing to do with money or it being a serious career. He actually made the assumption that a makeup artist would be obsessed with their looks, would not, was
Mm-hmm.
like very
You mean
superficial,
be a Leo?
period. And she said,
Like,
and I took that personally.
it's like, that's what you value. That's what you value, Catherine Maria.
Right.
And if someone does think that way, don't be with them then. Like,
Right.
that's your call. But they're like, this is still for me. You shouldn't think of me like this as I do this. But yeah, they want it all. So, and I think money was something that we were
Mhm.
absolutely talking about, because why did this woman lie? Because he's bringing up facts. He's like, I mean, don't most relationships, like a make or break is job, and also aka money? She said
Money, yeah.
no. She said no real quick. Okay, maybe in your culture, but like, you came on Love is Blind
Right.
and you knew what it was. You were like, oh, we don't even date in my culture, and I'm on Love is Blind. The
Right.
fact that you still want to copy and paste your culture on something that was absolutely not in your culture is
Right.
like, you can try, but I don't know how that gonna work out for you.
And it really will only work if you're dating someone who is from your culture or from a similar culture and wants to pick and choose the pieces of their culture that they actually want to adhere to. It's like
And
you can't
value.
take this little right. You can't take this British like guy who seemed because he was saying from his own family, his mother and his sisters do value being more egalitarian and
Yeah.
that way of like I pay for some of the dates and meal, like that. And
Yeah.
that is a big thing I mean, I know I'm someone who, like, when I'm dating someone, yes, I love when people treat me, but also I buy flowers, pay for dinners and meals and things. I'm just like, girl, if you want a traditional Moroccan man, get you one. But
Get
you
you.
knew Tom wasn't that in the pods.
Nah. Nah. So wild. So I was just like, oof, we'll see where this goes. Now, at the party where they meet everyone, Miss Tosh pops up.
She
She
did.
looking good. Tom's
First,
was not ready.
when the producers knew what were doing, having Natasha and Charlotte walk in together, because the moment
Yes.
they walked in, everybody was like, "Who
Who
is that?"
that?
I'm like, first, also, I want to know what was happening with Charlotte in the pods that no one was
Well,
like, what
I'm
happened?
suspicious
Yeah.
because we get a lot of Aaron later. He was at the fitting, and we've seen this before of underpod people being at the
Oh,
fitting, and we're like, "Oh, they're boys." No, they were
got it.
engaged.
Got
I
it.
did pause the then bridal part to be like, "Charlotte,
Yeah.
there are, I think, 4 people to the left that
Oh.
I don't recognize."
Mm.
But I was like, "Oh, these are probably more friends and family," but I would not be surprised if Aaron got engaged to somebody.
Mm.
Because he
Interesting.
just seems much more involved later, and I'm just like,
Um,
interesting.
got it. Hmm.
Mhm. I don't know.
Interesting.
We'll
Yeah.
see.
But everybody was checking for Charlotte, especially. And then Tom, when he found out that was Tosh, he was like,
Wait a
now he was like
minute.
slurping his drink. I'm like, the producers are messy.
But he also did a lot because I feel like they were trying to set up Ollie a little bit, and I was like really trying to pay attention, but he was messy in this. He got some drinks in him, maybe. I don't know. Maybe he was really rethinking of like trying not to work out. Oh, Tash has a job and codes on the side for
Period.
like he a Capricorn rocking with that energy and not
Truly.
Maria energy. So
Right.
he's like, "Hey, Tash." He said she looked more glamorous than expected. Imagine a man, a man calling you glamorous, so demure, so cutesy.
Right. I'm dead.
He's not like the other
And
girls.
then he called her nerdy. He was like, because you're nerdy.
She
I was like,
is.
and then he was like, I mean that as a compliment.
Yeah, he was picturing something else. Probably, maybe what she used to look like. Who
Potentially.
knows?
Mm.
But yeah, he was shook. And then I love she handled him perfectly. I didn't know because again, it was coloring my thought a little bit of like, okay, she's a former fat girl. We'll
Mm.
see. We'll see how that that goes. But I think she knows she a baddie because he was sitting there and he was like, "Oh, she gives him what he deserves," saying
Mm.
he's a lot more put together than she thought.
Ooh.
She said, "Oh,
Read him.
I guess you I guess you are cleaner." I guess. And then he tells her that him and Maria aren't 100% on saying yes at the altar. I was like, "Are you
And I just want us to hold that thought that he said that. Because
uh-huh.
then when he tells the download to Maria, he makes sure to mention that that Tash mentions that she loved him or like was falling in love with him, but omit that he said I'm not really sure
He
what's gonna happen at the altar.
this is what Catherine was like
Mm,
acting like what Ollie did to her.
yeah.
Because the way Tom twisted it, of like he got that one crumb of validation because Miss Tasha said, "Oh, well, you know what? I care about you, but that's it." So, and
Right.
I said, "Queen." She said, "I don't care about no. I'm not 100%. We are
Right.
done. We are through. Good luck to you two."
Right.
Could have had a hardworking cap. Well, yo, what is Tosh? I was so sad because the Reddit thread didn't have her sign, and I'm like, I know she's not in a
No.
couple, but I feel
But
like
inquiry minds would still like to know.
yes.
I mean, it's giving
So
Capricorn energy, having one job and learning how to code on the side as well. But what do I know?
yeah, what do I know? Or Taurus, who
Mm.
knows? But yeah, so Tom, I wrote that. What Tom tells Maria, I was like, what? And he said he felt a little uncomfortable with Tosh saying that. And it's like, no, you didn't. You were very comfortable, sir.
Because you opened the door.
Yeah, you were very comfortable. And I will give Maria and Demi kudos because who knows what they're feeling inside. But outwardly, when other people are like, you worried about that? They were like, no,
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah.
cool, fake it until you make it, or cool, you're really not worried about her. Either
Yeah.
way,
Yeah.
love it.
Maria seemed a bit more believable than Demi. I will have, because Demi was like, nope, nope.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you have it because you're not trying to let these other people into your emotional world right now, and that is okay.
Yeah.
But girl, I don't believe you. You're not okay right now,
Yeah.
and that's also okay.
I think though what she said rang true and was actually very mature when you do feel insecure, because Demi was telling them, I'll wait for what he tells me, and
Yeah,
all I can do is just wait and see.
yeah,
She was feeling insecure but did not rush to take control of the situation. She was like, if he's trash, if he's a doll, it'll come out.
right. Whereas Jasmine was like, if that was me, I would have sat over there in the conversation. It's like, I know you would have.
And what if you just gone back home with him? Like what? Like what's the game plan here? Demi and Maria, kudos on that. So yeah, later on, Tom meets her family. This went pretty well.
Mhm.
I think it was really cute. This felt a little black to me. It felt non-white for sure, because the way Maria was like, "Now don't go over there and touch me in front of my mama."
Yeah, don't do the PDA. That is very disrespectful in my culture.
We don't do that. And they were sitting beside each other like good friends.
Right.
Like we all women of color had to at some point.
Oh my gosh.
But then I also thought about like how freaky they were talking in the pod.
Right. I was like, you didn't think your mama and sister then was gonna see that on TV?
But it was more Tom. He was like, I was imagining you
Oh,
on top of
Jesus.
me. He was like, oh, shut up. I think he was a very good listener.
Yeah.
This family lost a father. It was very traumatic.
Mm.
They're also very close. They're kind of explaining their culture. He was getting in on that food.
He
That's an
was.
important part, as if you have a white partner. How
He
you gonna
was.
act when you get around some ethnic food?
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, and mostly he gets their approval, which is nice. But yeah, when she meets Tom's sisters, I mean, the sisters are like, "You do you."
Right.
We're different, but you do you.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's gonna work. One of them needs to pull the plug because long term they don't have similar lifestyles or the way they want to live their lives, you
yes,
know? And I think Maria really wants to believe they have the same values, but I'm like, no, he seems to have a bit more liberal values than like
yeah.
your more traditional values
And I know that she's probably like super liberal in
in her
her
world.
world, but it's like when you pop out and try to interact with people who are not in your world at all, you come off sounding real traditional.
Right.
And that's
And that's
just,
right.
she probably wouldn't identify like that. Just like Catherine doesn't want to be identified as bougie, and yet she's doing the most bougie stuff. She wants to be with the people. She wants to be with the
Right.
people.
Right. Yeah. Cause I think Maria deciding to date and like forego traditional Muslim ideas of marriage, she's like, I'm progressive. But I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, yeah, you're a bit more progressive than your family's culture.
I'm realizing that Maria and Catherine give I want to be the cool girl, cool
Mm,
girlfriend,
yeah.
but then they're a little bit more actually high maintenance, but they want to be like, no, I'm still a cool girl, but you should do this, and this.
Right.
It's like, girl.
Just say what you want and how you want to live your life
Hmm.
and leave these people alone
Leave them.
because they are not, it's like Freddie and Tom are just chill white dudes
Yeah.
that, like they are not the type trying to go to Nobu or like, like live flashy lifestyles or finance their wife's lifestyles.
want to do none of that.
They just want to be like live their little happy little lives in their
You don't
nice
want a
home.
dependent. Like
No.
you asking to be a dependent right now.
Yeah.
And I know because of the economic hardship, we're seeing women really glamorize a stay-at-home life and all that. And
Right.
yeah, some people probably genuinely do, but I think y'all are just tired of capitalism. And that's okay.
Period. And that's okay. You know? That's
Like,
cool. You know?
I mean, Catherine's not tired of capitalism. She wants to consume.
Right. I want to go shopping all the time, and I want my husband to go with me, and I want him to shut up and hold my bags
Yes,
and pass
exactly.
me the credit card.
So, but it's like you're Delulu. You're a little bit Delulu watching all those girlies on social media telling you what you probably should be having.
And the thing is, commit to the bit. Catherine, you are an attractive, skinny white woman. You can
probably
get
could
you a
find
sugar
it.
daddy. You can find you a man who will finance your lifestyle. You can find that. Like, Maria, you're a beautiful woman. You can find you a man who wants to take care of you and have you laid up in a big, beautiful house with no
Mhm.
worries besides keeping the house clean and having his babies. You can find that. These
Yep.
men on Love is Blind is not that.
But this could be good advertisement for them. I don't know.
That's
Low
true.
key, low
That's
key.
true.
I think the last thing is that Maria said, "Well, I don't want to be paying for your mortgage," which I'm like, "What's happening?"
That was a weird thing to me. I mean, maybe, yeah, I found it odd because she was like, say we're together for 4, 5, 6 years. I've paid a bunch of your mortgage. And I'm like, babes, mortgages are like 30 years. Like, you paying 4 years worth of rent, essentially. Like, you're paying a landlord's mortgage. Like, I'm just like, this is weird. Like, what are we talking about here?
It's still giving 50-50 conversation. And like in a way,
Mm.
okay, in a way, it's like, yes, if this is this home, we're doing a prenup, it's yours. It's a little uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But then why isn't the conversation like, do you want to sell this home? Should we rent this out and move into our own place?
Yeah, it's if I'm living here in your house, I shouldn't have to help pay the mortgage.
Mhm.
Ooh, yeah.
And it's like, okay, did you get him because he had a house then? Like, is this the argument to get out
Ah,
of responsibilities for something you obviously want? Like,
right.
you want a home or you don't. Like, this is all conversations
Right.
around marriage. Like, no one really
Right.
wants to commit. You want all of the perks and no investment.
Right.
He's not
Right.
asking you to do anything he's not doing himself.
Right.
He doesn't need you to pay the mortgage, but if you live in under the house,
Right. Odds are he named he wants a spouse who is a partner who will contribute.
and he says like he also values hard work.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this ever really came up, but I'm also like how he talked about ambition, I think maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm misremembering,
Mm,
but I'm like, what is Maria's ambitions? Because she's not like, oh, I'm a makeup artist. I have my own LLC. I work with such and such brands. My goal is to work with this brand, or I look up to this influencer and I want to grow.
yeah.
She's not talking about any of that. She's like, I'm a makeup artist and I want to stay at home with my kids.
Right. Right. Yeah.
So you having fun? Like,
Right. It's like her
this is so
primary job would be
clear.
a stay-at-home wife and mom, and then do a little makeup on the side.
For like spending money because that's what like
Yeah.
stay-at-home moms do. They're like, I'll do this for my spending money, my shopping
Right.
money. And
Yeah.
it's like, nah, he's like, we're all adults and we're all doing this thing, right? Or no.
Yeah.
So it's wild. It's very incompatible. And I wrote down, I wish we heard why Maria is pursuing a man who doesn't fall in line with her culture.
Right.
I really want to know. Or even why I think she did talk about why she was open to Love is Blind, but it's like, I need details. I'm very much not understanding the
Yeah.
mindset. That's
Yeah.
all.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna do something that we forgot last time. What's our chaotic buy moment?
Oh, what's our chaotic buy moment? What is our chaotic buy moment?
There was
I
a lot
mean,
of chaotic moments for sure, but there's a lot of them that I don't want to label bisexual.
I know. I don't want to I mean, I don't think this is necessarily bisexual, but I just loved when Benaya laughed in Sam's face when
Me too.
Sam was trying to be like, "Oh, did your girl tell you she was trying to get in my pants?" And Sam laughed at him. I was like, "Ugh."
Yeah! You know what? Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Yes.
I'm like, yes, cackle in his face because he thought he was gonna do his big one, as Leah said,
Mhm.
laugh at him because he is
Laugh.
laughable.
Laugh at men. Ooh, I wonder. We're not speculating about no one's sexuality, but I also just, if Nicole and Benaya ended up on Couple to Throuple, I would not be
I
surprised.
definitely, that's what I was thinking. I was like, I would not be surprised if they were in the lifestyle.
And I hope, and I hope, and I hope. Yeah, that's a good one. Beautiful black moment. I wrote Ollie opening up about his ADHD to Demi. And of
Mm.
course, this is very much me being in a relationship with someone who has ADHD.
I think it was Demi's dad crying. I thought that was such a beautiful black moment that this black
Mhm.
man was just really being vulnerable and sharing how
Mhm.
much he loved his daughter. He had missed her while she was gone for this time, and he just wants the best for her. And if she is happy with this man, he's happy for her, you know?
Yo, and oh my god, I just remembered. I know we're running a little bit long, but I just remembered Demi's speech when she's trying on her dresses.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that was
Demi
such a
was
beautiful
like,
moment. Yeah.
F insecurity. I'm being confident. By the way, when she got home, all her looks, skin,
Yeah.
hair,
Yeah.
everything, the clothes, the
Yeah.
clothes. I was like, Demi, you were playing talking about
Yeah.
you an athleisure girly. Cause look at that press,
Right.
the nice press for this dress. You were
Right.
camera ready, a hottie, and
Right.
of course, Ollie is attracted to her because he's not stupid.
Right.
Their
Right.
date at the arcade was really cute.
It was. And she is so competitive. I love it.
Yeah,
She
I like how
said,
they were playing basketball.
ah, love it.
It was almost giving Black American. He was like, okay, cousins, because he shook that daddy when he was like, I don't like football like that.
Yeah.
He's like, what do you like? I don't even remember what sport he said. They be
He
pulling out
said boxing and MMA.
you do
Yeah, so
yeah,
it's like he's not a traditional guy, like European guy who's into like soccer.
yeah,
It's like
yeah, yeah. He not like
that's
the
my
other boy.
impression of boxing.
What was it?
I am not a sports ball girly, okay?
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Oh my gosh. All right, I should wrap this thing up because
Yeah.
wow, did we get into this? All
It was
right.
a 5-episode drop.
It was. It was. It was. And I hope you guys watch all of it. Not just
Yes.
one part or the second. I think you guys were pretty good about that, about the first drop. But the
Yeah.
second part, y'all jumped to listen about Sam. I saw that.
Right. I love that we're all unified in
You
our
you eat your dinner before dessert. Okay?
period.
I I picked the order for a reason, and I am your HBIC. All right, Quita, where can people follow you?
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram at hello_Quita for my hot takes on social justice and pop culture. You can also check out my website, iolastrategies.com, to learn more about my consulting business. And I'll be launching a podcast, Grassroots University, which the link to the website will be in the description
Okay,
box below. And yeah, TBD on more details later.
nice. And once again, guys, I am your host, Nicole Weaver. You please follow Black by Reality across all socials, and most importantly, subscribe to this channel, and like and comment your thoughts. We want to hear them. We're also on Apple Podcasts if you have to be on the go, but if you like slides and seeing and following along, that's what you're getting on YouTube. So again, subscribe, ring that bell so you know when we get a new episode. We're going to be back next week to talk about the final drop of Love is Blind UK, and whenever the reunion comes out, we will be back for that. And then, Quita, we're going to talk about Love Island USA with Izzy of Big Brother 25.
I'm so excited.
People are speculating. They think that they're scrapping. There's so much. They just finished filming. Liv's hair looked tossed. Like, the girlies are crying. The Casa girlies are crying. I don't know what's going on. But we'll find out. We're gonna talk about it next week.
I'm ready and excited. Wow.
Yeah, and if Kayla and Aaron are broken up or not, it's up in the air. Who knows?
Who knows?
And lastly, we are doing Big Brother coverage on this channel. I'm doing exit interviews, which come out on Mondays. So if you're into that, please subscribe and check those out. And the last thing I can really plug, we need to be prepared because the winds are changing. I mean, it's global warming, so it's still hot. I know, but in the fall, we're already getting more and more teasers for Survivor, and I have talked to some Survivor players in the past about Survivor 46. We're going to Survivor 47, and we have multiple podcasters. I guess the unsaid theme is podcasters. We'll see which one lasts or outlast. And that's it for our content.
Wow.
Yeah. All right, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Oh my God.